Hey, what's up, wrong person? You were pretty fast today. I realize how much I hate how weekly bosses work in this game now. Work in this game. Please explain. Hey, what's up, Stella? How's it going, man? I just started. Yep, that is true. I just started. How do weekly bosses work in... Well, okay. Again, it's me. This is my first and only gacha game. Weekly, quote-unquote, weekly bosses doesn't exist in where I come from, which is MMORPGs. Like, literally, they respawn in every 30 minutes or something. So, how do weekly bosses work in other games? You can choose to do more weekly boss attempts for 60. Okay. You can only do once a week, and here drops only 2 months. Sorry, what? Can choose to do more weekly boss attempts for 60. Oh, really? Wow, that's pretty good. Hey, what's up, Siri? What's up, Keiju? How's it going, man? I'm getting Mavuika weapon. Oh my god, I'm so jealous, man. I want to get Mavuika's C1 and her weapon. But there are rumors that... What the... What? What? Ah, jeez. This one. Lovely. Just lovely. Great. That was okay. That was a very poorly executed dash iframe. That was definitely my fault there. I don't remember ever seeing this attack before. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen him do an attack like that before. Ah, thank goodness for Nebula being super tanky. I think this is gonna be one of those. Yep, this is gonna be one of those cringe runs. So I might as well redo. Gonna so hard. Oh my god, screwed by weekly boss mats right now and all the characters I'm trying to build. Yep, that's you know, that is the one. Well, I was about to say the one unfortunate thing about Genshin, but no, like there's lots of unfortunate things about Genshin. Cause like, and it's terrible. Like it's awful for new players, and it's awful for players who take a break. Waiting for a Nefa. Oh yeah, that's right. You get every single character. Hey, best of luck, Siri. Trying to push Skirk leaderboards and it's screwing me up so hard. You know, that's the thing that's making you miserable whenever you try to play Genshin wrong. Is like Genshin's like a super casual game. Like, dude, it literally took Hoyo like 5 years to introduce introduce something that resembled like something like a leaderboard, right? Like literally, only Stygian Onslaught is the only way that you can compare yourself with other people's builds, and like you can't even compare builds, right? Like I mean, like technically you can, like a long time ago, right? Like you could look at other people's characters and builds and stuff, but like it's so like tedious, and like there's no like compare feature, right? Whereas like now with Stygian Onslaught, we literally have like a leaderboard, ish, something that looks a little bit like a leaderboard, right? Where it shows that like timer thing for like how quickly your friends cleared what level, right? And like it came out 5 years into the game. But you are playing Genshin so competitively. That's the problem with, like, you can't play Genshin competitively because it's not, you can't grind Genshin. You can't do anything to get ahead of others. You know, this is unusual. It's both weapon and talent stuff. Is this a first? I guess this is the first. Honestly, I don't know what I should get. I should probably get talent mats because like I'm not really like a big weapon a big weapon puller. So, why do I have so much contention? Wait. Oh right, because okay, I have it ready for Mavuika. Okay. Yeah, yeah. I forgot. I have it ready for Mavuika. Right. Well, I might as well get contentions because I'm gonna run out of them as soon as I get Mavuika. I heard Hoyo Fest is gonna be in the Philippines soon. Doesn't matter to me. I'm in a backwater city that never gets big conventions like that, so. I got Silali, Zelonan C5, Zelonan C5, Zelonan C5 or C5 Bennett, and Mavuika. All I need is a weapon. Oh, dude, I'm so jealous, man. You got everything. You got everything that you need for Mavuika's best team. Kamehameha. I lost my 80-80? Sorry, what do you mean by 80-80? You mean 50-50? Skirk gets soft pity 40 yesterday. Hey, nice. That's not bad. It's not bad. It's like what, 120 wishes? It's not amazing, but it's not bad. D5 Bennett. Oh, alright. Just a game. Don't need to play so hard, so meta. Unless you play the game like for professional sport, which I doubt. Any Hoyoverse counts. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, man, wrong. You need to chill out, man. Stop playing Genshin competitively. Like, you're just literally forcing yourself to play Genshin competitively when there's no way to play Genshin competitively. It's, you can't grind. Okay, it looks like this team was a bad idea. I knew I couldn't get any rift things for Skirk here, because I wasn't gonna be able to do any freeze reactions on these guys. Oh my god, I did a big oopsie earlier today. Like, I remember I did a big oopsie today. I remember thinking, oh yeah, that's right, we can just straight up use like the transient resin or fragile resin straight into the domain. And then I wanted to do that, but like I was kind of thinking like, oh nice, like just one run, and then like I instantly get all of this, like, right, like in one go, and then I used the transient resin, and I was like, huh, why do I still have? I went to check on this, and I went like, why do I still have 3 out of 3? And then I was like, oh my god, what the heck did I just do? It doesn't work. It only works. It only works with when you use original resin or what's it called? Original resin? Is it original resin? What is it called? Uh, where do I see it? No. Hang on. Where do I see that? The name of that thing? Oh, I guess I can do it, but if I use all my bursts. How much did I need to wait for Mavuika? I think it's probably just one more day now. Hang on, let me check Andy. I have 130 wishes, lost to Chi-Chi. Now 23, lost till now. What, dude? Really? Track life? You've already put down 130 wishes for Skirk, and you still haven't gotten her? Oh man, that sucks. If you've already gotten, if you've already dropped 130, there's a pretty high chance that you're gonna get her in your next 2 10 pulls. Yeah, last on the NA server at least. Last 31 hours for you guys to decide whether or not to get Skirk. I don't think I've ever used Dahlia's skill for that before. I feel like, hey, is Dahlia the first ever non-animal character we have that has what's it called, that has some sort of like movement skill? 15. Okay, I guess I have to condense 1 resin. Well, 80. You know what? 60. Asia server is 18 hours. Yep. Asia server is about 12? No, about 10 hours ahead of the NA server. Okay, so this minus 4, 12, 8. Okay, no. I think that's it. That's correct. Yeah, alright, that's yeah, we're good. I'm not gonna use this today. Probably just use it tomorrow. Yep. Am I forgetting something? Oh yeah, talk to Catherine. Don't grant his coffee talents. Alright. Hey, best of luck, Wrong. I have Calamity equipped on Dahlia or Layla? Calamity of Eshu? No, Calamity of Eshu goes on Skirk, not supports. Stella, Calamity of Eshu goes on Skirk, not her supports. Yeah, her supports get Fab Sword. Either Layla or Dahlia. I just played Mavuika Story Quest. You just played it? Wow, dude. Okay. I mean, like, at the very least, you got the thing. This thing. Literally 1 more day left. Man, talk about procrastinate. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Okay, never mind. I'm probably not. 1 day, 50 minutes. Yep, sounds right. The EU server is about 6 hours ahead of the NA server. And I believe the Asia server is about 6 hours ahead of the EU server. Hang on. So daily reset on Asia is 4. Daily server reset on the EU server is 11. So that's 7 hours? Hang on. 5. So what? Is the daily server reset on Asia 4 a.m.? I think it's 4 a.m. So it does not. If it's 4 a.m., yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 4 a.m. If it's 4 a.m., does not mean that the Asia server is 7 hours. Yeah, it's 7 hours ahead of the EU server. But the EU server is 6 hours ahead of the NA server. That's odd. How to get that 20-ish, squeezed all the primos from my world. Well, at least you still at least you still had some primos to squeeze, man. In my case, I have no more primos to squeeze at all. I've done like all exploration stuff. Like, I mean, like, sure, there's still like some random world quests that I could probably do. But, no thanks. It's just 4 a.m. our time. Yeah. So it is 7 hours ahead of the EU server. Very weird. Just imagine you could use your shielder and you use the passive and can pass it on via the shield. What? Pass it on via the shield so you run a different sword on Skirk and get great rate. If only it worked like that, man. If only it worked like that. How do you glide on water with Mavuika bike? You just do. You just do it. There's no special trick to it. Just get on her bike and get over water. You know, I've never bothered to look it up or to test it out. So I don't actually know whether or not Skirk's thing, her special burst has iframes. Oh, come on. Where is the queen? Oh, darn it. You know, is it just me? Or does the queen feel a little squishier than the king? It won't sync, yeah. But if you're in Natlin, it's actually like useful. It's actually useful. But outside of Natlin, it's just like you might as well don't. It just it's basically useless outside of Natlin. The duration is so short. Someone save me. What? If I recall correctly, that does the flip animation cannot be interrupted. Flip animation? Like when you the special burst, you mean? So you say cannot be interrupted, but you're not saying iframes. So like, well, Dark Knight says it does. Okay. And from what I've seen, it does feel like it has some iframes. But it has very few iframes because there's no burst animation, so it's like super short. You know what? I might want that thing. Oh, you know what? Should I? Normal attack damage. Oh my god! Wait, what am I? Why am I not using this thing? Skill damage though, completely useless. But huh? Wow. Why? Why have I not used that thing? It looks ugly though. Well, you know what? Hang on. Oh, okay. It looks ugly when she puts it in her like this twin blade weapon. But it doesn't look too bad on her. In fact, like I think it looks okay because like it's like in contrast to everything. Like, cause like everything, her hair, her clothes, they're all like they're all like this theme, this color theme going, and like they're all like the same color, and it's kind of nice to see something that's like really that has really strong contrast to everything else. Issues better, really. 80% sure Eshu's better. Eshu's probably better. Especially with the crit rate and the damage percent, yeah. Oraku base too low. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. Okay, I forgot that Oraku has low base attack. Okay, I was seeing like 80-ish K, 88K. I'm pretty sure those were melts. So let's try Eshu then. Although I'm pretty sure if Eshu is better, it's probably only better if I'm shielded. If I'm not shielded, it's probably not better. I think I saw an 84K earlier. I could be wrong. Damage percent is fairly diluted on her too. You are correct. That's right. That's right. She is very, very. Yeah. That's actually a pretty good way to put it. Damage percent is diluted on her. That's a pretty good way to put it. because of Farina, like between Farina and the Goblet, and I believe some of her passives. I don't remember. And that's why, like, I've noticed that the what's it called? Finale of the Deep is sometimes like I've never paid attention to the damage numbers just because of the way she does damage. Like she does a lot of numbers. She does a lot of numbers like very quickly, so it's kind of hard to pay attention. Eh? Oh. So I've never bothered to look at the difference in numbers between Finale of the Deep and Eshu, but it does feel like more often, not all of the time, but more often, Finale of the Deep feels better sometimes. It feels like I'm clearing faster, especially when it comes to like domains where I don't always use all my bursts every run. So more often, Finale of the Deep feels better. All right, on to the first account. Is Black Sword better than Eshu? Honestly, I don't know. I don't think so. Yeah, no, I don't think so. Cause like, remember, Eshu gives you okay. Black Sword gives you crit rate, right? Well, gives you crit rate. Like the secondary stats crit rate. The passive is damage percent and maybe some healing too. But remember what Eshu gives you. Secondary stats attack percent gives you crit rate on the passive, and gives you damage percent on the passive. So it just like overall it gives you more stats. It's not a bad weapon for Skirk. Okay, I actually just so happened to be on my first account where I do have Black Sword. Issue, where's my issue? Have I raised my issue? Oh my god. People are probably screaming at me, right there! I see it! There it is. Oh yeah, and it's a higher base attack weapon. It's a higher base attack weapon. Black Sword's only 510. Yeah, and another thing too, because Black Sword is a lower base attack weapon, and the secondary stat is crit rate, right? Which that means like the lower base attack weapon means that the secondary stat is higher, right? If this was a 565 base attack sword, this crit rate would be a little bit lower. I actually don't know how much it would be, but it would be a little lower than 27%. And the problem with that is one of Skirk's best in slot artifact set, if not her actual best in slot artifact set, is Marisha's A Hunter, which already gives you 36% crit rate. Plus the fact that she's cryo, who is stuck in a cryo only, or no, not cryo only, in a freeze only team. She's very likely to have, like, she's almost guaranteed to have, depending on your team, of course, but like she's basically guaranteed to have cryo resonance too. Right, so you already have 15 crit rate from cryo resonance, 36 crit rate from Marisha's A Hunter, plus 27.6 from the Black Sword. So what is that? So 5% base, 15 plus 36 plus 27.6. So even with zero substats, with no crit rate substats at all, you're already at 83.6%. And if you can somehow dodge all the crit rate substats on your artifacts and somehow get all the crit damage substats, then hey, sure, why not? But how much damage percent is this? Okay, so mine's a little skewed because like this is R4. But hey, I guess like if you have R5 Black Sword, I guess sure. Maybe it's a good comparison. Hang on. How much is that? Normal charge stacks by 34, say 40%, I think. This one is 40% and 16 crit rate and the higher base attack and the attack percent. So I'm pretty sure Eshu wins. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Eshu wins. With Raku, you need to play her with the Geotame to activate the passive. Yeah, that's not happening. So that's why, like, the only nice thing about Uraku is really, really high crit damage. And I guess the small percent, the small normal attack percent. That's the only good thing about it. Eshu, Uraku, Finale, Black Sword. Yeah, that sounds right. But I don't know why. I think I'm very often, more often than not, Finale of the Deep feels like it's clearing faster than Eshu. I cannot feel the difference when it comes to like endgame stuff, but in just day-to-day domains, Finale feels like it's clearing faster. Clearing faster and more comfortably. And I think that's because it's a domain. It's like a really short fight, and because it's such a short fight, I can hardly do like full rotations. And because I can't do full rotations every time, it also means like not every run is gonna be. I'm not gonna be able to use all my bursts every rotation. And I think, and that means I'm likely to maybe not get like a certain damage percent buff or a certain like attack buff, like for example for Noblesse, right? Whereas like with Eshu, obviously like sure it's attack percent, but Finale is also attack percent, but it's way more attack percent, and this thing just straight up attack. Finale is fairly significantly worse, surprisingly. It allows you to run Shenhe. Allows you to run Shenhe. Why is that? Been attempting Onslaught for 3 hours. I hate Tulpa so much. Dude, you should just stop, man. You should just stop. Like, just don't force it. We have a saying here in so it's not a Philippine thing. Right? It's not a Filipino saying. It's like it's more like a Cebuano thing, like a Bisaya thing. Oh no, actually, you know what? It is a Filipino thing. I remember hearing it in Tagalog back in Manila when I used to live in Manila. People here sometimes would sometimes say in Tagalog it goes like wag mong pilitin baka dumugo. So in English that means don't force it, it might bleed. Right? And it's silly. Most of the time it's used comedically as a joke. But it absolutely applies to a lot of things in life too. Like don't force it cuz it's going to bleed. The bleeding thing is like you being miserable because you're forcing yourself. Apparently Amber is the key for Topla. Amber? What? I have not seen that yet, Saki. Is that... Are you serious? Because you don't have to dedicate a slot to Dahlia anymore? Oh, right. Yeah, because like Eshu... Like you need Dahlia for Eshu. Right, yeah. I understand. I'll attempt tomorrow. Thing is, it's so close by like 5 seconds. I just need more optimization. Dude, I did... My god, Ali, I did the same exact thing on my third account with the Hydro Drag. Hydro? No. The Pyro... what's it called? The Pyro Dragon? I think it's called... Yeah, I think it's a Pyro Dragon. I did the same exact thing with the Pyro Dragon. Dude, it's nuts. Like, think... The optimization that you can... The amount of optimization that I had to do. Like, it's insane. So there is a slight variance because of RNG. But then like the RNG, you can absolutely almost 100% control the RNG. If you just if you do everything exactly 100% exactly the same every time, like your positioning is exactly the same, like every single attack, like you don't do like an accidental normal attack, you don't press a skill or burst before another thing, like you just map out every button press, right? And like you can reduce enemy RNG by like so much. And yeah, so like it's insane the optimization you can do, man. I hope I don't regret skipping Skirk. RJ, do I put the Skyward Sword, or the Sapwood on Bennett? Oh, go Skyward, man. Obviously Skyward, because like Skyward more ER and higher base attack. Like I don't know why you would go Sapwood. I do remember Sapwood has a certain passive that it drops something on the ground, if I'm remembering it correctly. I don't know what that is. I think isn't that like an EM buff or something? I think it's an EM buff, if I remember. Yeah, if I remember that correctly. But it's like annoying because you have to pick it up. It doesn't just buff your team. Yeah, like it drops on the ground and you have to pick it up with whoever you want the EM buff on. My bad. RJ. Amber's the key for the fire tulpa. Oh, you mean the pyro dragon? Amber, dude. You know what I've been doing? So here's the team that I've been using for the pyro dragon is Nivelette. I know, weird, right? Nivelette, Venti, Xiangling, Nahida. It's really, I know it's weird, but like literally Nahida, obviously like personal damage as well. Nahida is for just to help me with burning, and Xiangling is my source of pyro, and Venti, because like Venti burst. It actually works surprisingly well. It's just unfortunate that it's really like you. Yeah, it's just unfortunate that am I even able to get 3 draconic stacks on Nivelette? No. Yeah, because I can't swirl Hydro. And I also will never be able to react my Hydro with Dendro because the enemy is always burning. Is Emilie only for burning? Yes, she is. She definitely is. Okay, I don't know because Wiki told me to put Sapwood on him. Well, I mean Sapwood is one of his better 4-star options. But if you have a 5-star, then why not? Some reaction thing, the passive. Ah, I see. Today I actually want some help with 2 character builds. 2 character builds. Which ones? No, I don't mind. I love helping out with build stuff. I'm not the best at it, but hey, like it makes like, dude, it's the one place that I can feel like that makes me think that I'm actually good at something. For Samus optimization, when I first swapped to Mavuika, it's only been 13 seconds. 5 seconds though, Saki, or sorry, not Saki, Ali. 5 seconds left. You might as well be a mile. That is like, especially if you feel like you've optimized everything, like there's no more room for any more optimization. A 5-second gap, it might as well be a mile. That's a lot. That's a lot to, yeah. Put the Fontaine fishing sword on Bennett. Looks pretty good. It works pretty good. That's supposed to be Farina's. Isn't that supposed to be Farina's? The pipe thing? Shogun and Yelon. I'm sure you have experience with these two. I'm having a rough time with stat balancing and knowing what sort of goals I should be setting to achieve each stat on them. Uh, I don't know if I don't know if you need help with that, man. Like those are pretty standard characters. Like they're I mean they're like the way you build them is like pretty standard. I feel like you know everything you need to know for those two, man. Got festering for free now. Oh, hey, old player privileges, old player privileges. Nice, fist bump. I don't know why I thought I did, but yesterday night while I was building them, I realized I'm doing something really wrong, but I can't pinpoint what it is. Oh, okay. What makes you think you're doing something wrong? What is making you feel like that? Even though each individual artifact looks more or less right. Maybe you're lacking ER. Maybe that's the problem. Because like, so especially when it comes to burst reliant characters, lacking like 5 or 10 ER very often makes it feel really awkward. And like very often actually like even if your characters are are doing like not as much damage as they should be, they will still feel really really good to play if you have enough ER on them, because like rotations just flow through really smoothly. Like regardless of whether or not you're doing good damage on them or not, if you have enough ER, then like it just feels right. Sure, sure. Do you have them on display? Hey, how do you type your UID like that? Some people have problems with that. Like some people, when they type their UIDs normally, they can't like it doesn't show up. It like YouTube just blocks it. I keep forgetting that the numpad enter doesn't work for this. I don't know. I guess YouTube loves me. Okay. All right. All right. Hang on. Well, it's you, so I know this isn't just showing off. So I'm actually gonna show this on the screen. Yelon. Okay, there. All right, you definitely have enough ER. Your crit damage is a little lacking, but you definitely have enough ER. Wait, this is Chokoshu? Oh, you're Yelon. Hmm. I think you're I'm. You know what? I get the feeling that your Yelon is probably. I don't know about starving energy. Wait, are you playing them together? If you're okay, okay. You know what? That was a stupid question. That's a stupid, useless question. Never mind. Never mind that. Okay, so your Shogun. Uh, even if you okay, if you can find so your crit damage is well a bit lacking, right? So like okay, you definitely have more than enough ER to rotate smoothly. Uh, Now the problem is you're sacrificing too much uh crit damage for either crit rate or energy recharge. And if you can somehow like crit rate, ideally it would be nice if you could just maintain 70%. But if it's not possible, like maybe like 68 or 67% is like a minimum like that you could go down to, just to like find a way to get some of that something, get some more stats into crit damage because like 117 is like really low. That is like 117 is like AR 45 kind of stats. You know what I mean? AR 45 stats. That's 117 crit damage. Like adventure, you're adventure rank 45, and you're not even done like leveling up your one DPS's talents just yet. That's yeah, and you're just using your like random gladiator and wanderer troop pieces that you got from farming bosses. Average ER should be 250. I feel like 250 might be. I don't. No, I don't. I don't think that's average, man. I think 250 is minimum. I think. In fact, I don't even think 250 is minimum. That's like slightly below minimum. Yeah, 260 I would say is like minimum comfortable. 260. Uh, and 250, I guess if you have like two Fav users on the team. I think one is fine, but two just to be sure. But 260 I think is like minimum comfortable. Yeah, if you could sacrifice like try to find a way to sacrifice like only up to 40 crit sorry, no, not crit. ER only up to cuz like that would take you down to like 260 ER, right? Only go down to 260, not anything lower than that. Ideally 270. 280s also good. It's a little bit on the high side, but 280 is okay. But yeah, 260, 270, I feel like is like the magic number. If an attack stance would do better. Hmm. I mean, if you have the 51, right? If you have an attack stance that has some ER, but that like, I mean, like I don't know how much is gonna help you, man, because like your crit damage is just really low. You need to get to at least 140 crit damage for it to be what I would consider to be like minimum end game, and you're not anywhere close to what I would consider to be like minimum end game crit damage. Like I think that's really the problem, man. Not only is Raiden Shogun a an older character, an older DPS, so her multipliers are not quote unquote modern. She doesn't have quote unquote modern multipliers. Right? And you're lacking in one of the most important stats for damage. Even with C2, that's still gonna feel really lacking. Should I be aiming to run a crit damage stance then? Would be so hard to run acceptable crit rate then. I think you see why I'm struggling now. Yeah, I think you're just lacking the artifact options, man. I mean, try taking off of try taking off some stuff from like your other emblem characters. Yeah, try taking some stuff off of your other emblem users. Because like in this state, your shogun's really lacking. So try to take off some stuff from other characters using emblem who aren't lacking. You know what I mean? So in that way, both of them could just be a little lacking instead of one not lacking and the other is really lacking. You know what I mean? Try to balance out how much stats. Try to balance out the quote unquote like completion of the builds between the different characters they have. Like so in that way, they all have, well, most of them, as many of them have like similar completion, quote unquote. I call it completion because like getting like how quote unquote complete are they in relation to like be having like an end game build. You don't mind? Can you DM me yours as a goal or something like that then? Um, well, I don't know if I need to DM it because like I'm literally on my account right now, so I could just show you. 69. Nice. Honestly, I wish I could take off a little ER to put into crit damage. Like maybe crit rate, like maybe get to 71 or 72 crit rate. And like maybe get another 5 or 10 crit damage. That's what I would love to do. I would love to like go down to 270 ER and somehow get to like 72 crit rate and like 160 crit damage. That would be like my ideal build. Can you fix my free to play account? How do you reckon I fix your account, Relis? You mean like doing what I'm doing right now? I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind. I mean, like I'm doing something on my phone, so like that's why I haven't been doing anything in the game for like the last couple of minutes, and I've also been well yapping a lot, as usual. By the way, did I pronounce your name right? Relos, or should I be pronouncing it as Relios? With each individual artifact, you can choose which one's the best. The three you have. With huh? What? Sorry. What? I think I understand the second part of the that question, but I don't get. I don't understand the first part. With each individual artifact, what does that mean? How much crit rate is enough for Mavuika? My artifact substats has enough crit damage. Wayne, for like end game, and I use the term end game, not to, not because like, oh, like if you're gonna do end game content, then you should have these stats. No, 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 it's not that. When I use the word end game to refer to like a character's like build or stats and stuff, I mainly mean that like it's a build that once you get a character to that crit ratio, that EM, that attack percent, that ER or whatever, are stats that you will never ever have to worry about anything. Like you can just set your build to that on that character and never have to think about ever changing its artifacts again. That's what I mean. So for yeah, so like the general like consensus as to like the magic number for end game crit rate is is somewhere around 70%, 70 or 71% crit rate. That's like the minimum end game. If you can go over that and still somehow have good other stats like good crit damage and EM or whatever, depending on like whatever DPS it is, right? If you can somehow go over 70, 71, 72% crit rate, then even better. Even better. But if you can't, right, like on characters like Raiden Shogun, for example, right, she doesn't have her ascension stat is not crit rate or crit damage. Her signature weapon is not a crit rate or crit damage weapon, and she doesn't have uh, crit rate or crit damage pole arms are not her like no. There are no crit rate or crit damage pole arms that are good on her, right? So it's either like Fav Lance, which is not a crit rate, crit damage weapon, the Catch, which does have some crit rate on the passive, but it's not a lot, um, or Engulfing, which is her signature weapon, which clearly it doesn't have any crit rate, crit damage on it. Right, so for characters like that, then it's like it's a lot harder to get them to the quote unquote ideal end game crit ratio, because all of that has to come from your circlet and your substats. Let's fix it like what you recommend. I will send the info to log in. Oh, I'm sorry, Aurelios. I don't have the time to do that today. And I do not recommend you give your account information to anyone. I mean, like, just because I'm like, okay, I'm streaming on YouTube. I am a quote unquote streamer, right? Doesn't mean Like anyone, like just because a person is streaming a video game on the internet doesn't mean that they are trustworthy, my dude. Don't give out your account information like to anyone, right? Even if they're a streamer, right? Especially like look at me, dude. Like I'm a tiny streamer. Like you never know, I might just disappear the next day with your account. So like no, don't do that. Don't do that. If it's all right with you, if you have specific characters that you need help with building, put them on display. Like go into your character thing, go into here, edit profile, and then put them down on here. Make sure this is checked. Show character details, and then just log out of your account. Just if you're logged in, log out, and then you can log back in if you still have stuff to do. And then it'll refresh that so that I can see them on Enka right now. And then like of course give me your UID. Isn't that build like 240-ish CV? I don't really I don't know why. Like I've never really like counted CV, like total CV. The only time I ever use CV is like I look to look at an artifact whether it's good or not. Like I look at an artifact and like, oh, this is good CV, but like total, I don't actually know what is a good total CV. And that's why like I see some people, they go into artifacts and then they see artifact details and they're like, oh, that's good. I don't know why. It's just I'm not used to it. I don't like, I'm looking at this and like I know that this is a good crit ratio under artifacts because I know that this is, I think, a well done crit damage, like total crit damage, right? But if I see, let's say okay, like I'll this one for example. Okay, you know what? Never mind. That's actually good. Yeah. Okay. So something like on my Nahida here, I go into her artifacts and I look at this. I'm like, is this good? I don't actually know. Yeah. Like the only way I'm able to tell if a crit ratio is good is by going into like the details of the main of the attributes tab and not artifacts. But the account isn't good, so I don't care. Dude, hey, Relos, maybe you don't realize this, but if your Genshin account ever gets hacked, okay, knock on wood, right? Knock on wood. Of course, we don't hope that'll happen. Think about this. If you ever wanna play Genshin again, think about all the quests that you're gonna have to do all over again, all the exploration, all the Oculus that you're gonna have to walk around and look for. Think about that, right? Just because an account isn't good doesn't mean that it's gonna save you. That you're not gonna have to redo all the quests again if you start over because your account got hacked. You're still gonna have to do all those quests all over again, and not just the quests again. Not just the quests, the exploration, all the dialogue skipping, all the pyroculus. And when you start, remember your stamina isn't 240 when you start, so you're barely gonna be able to just sprint around and walk around, right? To sprint around to do your exploration. Anyway, I mean, like, for me personally, I don't, I don't. Well, I do mind, right? Because like I never know like when my compromise when my PC might get compromised, like knock on wood, because this is my actual PC that I actually do stuff on and has like stuff on it that I would rather I be the only one that knows about, right? But you never know. Just because the person you're giving it to is trustworthy doesn't mean that your account doesn't mean that it's 100% safe with them. Also, I do mind right now because I still have stuff to do in the game, and because of all the yapping that I've done, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it all tonight anymore. Yeah, I actually wanted to do um exploration today finally because I just did I just finally 100%ed this region and the underground region in Natlan on my second account today, and that was my third run of it. That was my third run. I did it on my third account, I did it on my friend's account, and then just today I did it on my second account, which means I'm actually like super like it's still everything is still super fresh in my mind. And if I were to do it right now, it would go really smoothly, but it would still take me at least maybe 2 hours to do it if I don't if I don't stop to yap every so often. And like it's late, so I don't want to.
私と打ち合うこの燃え上がる炎で討伐となるがいい
What team are you using, Ali? Showcase your characters. Mean no offense by this to anyone, but he said it's true. Some other people on stream may use your account. Yeah, because like just because somebody's a streamer doesn't mean that they're nice. You know what I mean? They could be the biggest streamer ever, and they might be just a total jerk. Right? And like, oh, hey, there's this guy that gave me his account. Logged into it. Might as well screw around with it, right? Like, could be the biggest streamer on earth, and they could still be a complete jerk. Another thing too, could be the nicest streamer ever. Could be the most trustworthy streamer ever you've ever seen in your life. And just so happens on that day that you let him log into your Genshin account, his computer gets hacked. Right? Like, just ideally, no. Ideally, you never give out your any like account information, not just in Genshin, of course, but like in everything, to other people. What else did I want to do? Oh, right. Hang on. What talent mats am I lacking on? I've already done Skirk and Mavuika on this account, so which mats am I short on? I guess contention still, because I used up so much of it on Skirk and Mavuika. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'm farming contention. Exactly 120 seconds. Mavuika, Bennett, Kazuha, Pyro MC. Mavuika, Bennett, Kazuha, Pyro MC. Ali, why do you have Nahida? I'm gonna assume that you don't have Emilie. Is just because she's just not a very widely sought after character. So, but do you have? Okay, no Nahida. All right. Okay, can't do anything about that. Yaoyao. No, we don't really have any other good, nice, consistent Dendro applicators in the game, huh? Yeah, we really don't. Like, other than Nahida and Emilie. I guess technically there's Baiju, but like very but burst dependent. There's Yaoyao, but only like how long is it? Like 4-5 seconds? Dendro Traveler. Well, the problem with Dendro Traveler Lap is like for the lava statue, right? For the lava statue, the dragon lava statue is because. So the point of bringing a Dendro character is so that you can burn it, right? To have like really fast ticking pyro on it. And the problem with burning is it sort of has this like fire aura around it. So like anyone who is like hugging that an enemy that is burning also gets burned. So and with Dendro MC, his lamp, I guess is what it's called. It looks like a lamp. His when you hit his lamp with any pyro, it just explodes, and now you have no off-field dendro application anymore because it just exploded. You pressed Q, you pressed E Q, and then the lamp came up, and then it got burned because it like the lava statue like stood right next to it, and then like now you have no off-field dendro. And it's okay, it's fine if you have a way to guarantee hit it with hydro and or electro. So first of all, hydro really risky because if you in case you accidentally hit the lava statue with hydro, then there goes your progress, right? Trying to break that thing's shield or whatever it's called. Electro, I guess, is a little bit okay because like there's Mavuika, no, not Mavuika. There is Raiden Shogun's E, which is like really big AOE, and it is yeah, really big AOE, and it takes pretty fast. And I guess there's also Cookie's ring. Now the question is, can you guarantee that it will proc exactly the moment that you drop Dendro Traveler's lamp before it accidentally gets hit by like the burning thing on the enemy, right? Like there's always that risk. Now you've just added one extra layer of RNG into your runs. But yeah, the thought has crossed my mind. The thought of using Dendro MC has crossed my mind before. I'm not saying it's a terrible idea. It is. It definitely is possible. It has actually crossed my mind before, but thankfully I've had Nahida, so that thought hasn't. I haven't entertained that thought very much just yet. I'll do the other two tomorrow. I already did them, but I swapped the team, then changed back again. I'm tired. That's the price of trying to. What the what? That's the okay. Here is a bit of a visualization of what you're doing, Ali. What you and a lot of players are probably doing as well, not just you. Even me. Is say for example your height is five. You're 5'5" or 5'6", and you're trying to reach a shelf that is exactly like 5'8", 5'8" off the ground. So you have to go tippy toe, and it's just barely out of reach. That's what you and me and like many of us are doing. Oh my god, you've got to be kidding me. You know, ever since Hoyo started to like make enemies that hit pretty hard, when did we start getting enemies that hit actually hard? Did it start with Azurelight? Chasm. No. Chasm. Well, I guess the chasm. Okay. Can you guys have any idea which enemies, like which uh enemies are like the earliest to do like that actually do really good damage? Redden's one hit? Yeah, but that's like a one hit thing. That's not a lot of damage, right? It's just you just die. It's just a yes or no. The whale hit technically started with child. Really? Well, okay. You know what? Tartaglia was pretty jongliable. Oh, the whale hit. Well, that doesn't count because it's like it doesn't happen very often. It's not every hit. You know, like it's a special hit, and it's really easy to dodge if you know, as long as you're not a complete newbie at the game, right? It's a very special kind of attack. So like I'm talking about enemies that just like every hit is just like 8k, right? Every hit that it does that you're unshielded is just like boom, 8k off your HP or like 5k off your HP. The wolf hits hard at the second stage. Which wolf? The golden wolf lord? Always knew it was a reach. It was only a matter of can I complete it before I lose my sanity? That is true. And now you have realized that you would be able to complete it a little bit after you've lost your sanity. A little bit after. And now you can decide, was it worth it or not? All right, now you can decide for yourself. Andreas? Oh, that one. Yeah, but it's still pretty jongliable. Right? I'm talking about enemies that started hitting hard enough to where like you shield up on Zhongli, and because like Zhongli shield up, if you don't have C2, you can't just burst and have a shield, right? You have to actually stand still with no iframes. Right? You actually have to stand still with no iframes to get the shield up, right? Like the moment your shield comes up, and while you're like Zhongli is still stuck in his like hold E pose, you get hit, and the next time you get hit, the shield breaks, and you on top of the shield breaking, you took like 3k worth of damage because you apparently Zhongli's shield only had like 2k left on it. You know what I mean? Shogun back in the old days or Age Daha. Yeah, I think Age Daha was like one of the first. I think like Age Daha stomping. It is technically still a special, a pretty special like attack. Like it doesn't always happen. It sort of only yeah. It does happen more than once. It happens more than once. So that's why it's not so special. Hang on. Let me go back. No. Oh, the Senora one. No, the obvious like. Wait, did Ajdaha come before Senora? I guess Senora's thing, like it's not really her damage. It's more like the field. I don't know. Yeah, no. I guess that doesn't count. Yeah, I guess it started with Ajdaha, but then like who after Ajdaha? So after Ajdaha was the Chasm, right? Yeah, after Ajdaha was the Chasm, and then the Chasm's like I guess there's the Serpent Knights. The Serpent Knights hit pretty hard, right? Despite being normal enemies, they're not even bosses. They hit pretty hard. But they were still mostly jongliable. They were still mostly jongliable, and because the Pyro Serpent Knight had a thing where like if it hit you while you were shielded, like they would all get shields. So technically using Zhongli to turn damage off on the Serpent Knights wasn't really a very common option because of that ability. So and then like at some point Sumeru came, and then some of the first bosses in Sumeru were I don't think the Aeon Blight Drake was a day one world boss. I do know this guy was a day one world boss. Oh yeah, that's right. This thing as well. I've hardly ever fought the Electroder just fine, by the way. Like, I don't even remember how the fight feels. In fact, if I fought it right now, I would just look like an idiot. I have no idea anymore what that thing does. Yeah, okay, you know what? I think it did start with Ajdaha. Yeah, Ajdaha and then Sumeru. Um, Not everything in Sumeru, but like a lot of stuff that was in Sumeru. And then Fontaine, man. Fontaine and the introduction of local legends. Fontaine, like that was like when it got super, super obvious that enemies started hitting really hard. And not even just the bosses, not just the local legends, but even the mech. The mech hit pretty hard. The mech, and like at some point when we got when we got this part of Fontaine, the like those like golem things, not the boss, but like the normal enemy ones, they hit really hard. They hit really hard. The mech, the Fatui operatives, yeah, the Fatui operatives in this region of Fontaine, they hit really, really hard. That was the point when I started to feel really annoyed by 5-star burst animations. And so like, okay. Yeah, and then especially in Natlan as well. Because like the trend just kept going, continuing, right? The trend just kept going of Hoyo releasing normal enemies, world bosses, weekly bosses, and like local legends, right? They all hit really hard. And I understand that the point of that was that so that we couldn't just like in StarCraft Brood War, by the way, like if you play in single player, there's like a cheat code that just turns off all damage, right? Like none of the enemies will do any damage to you. And if you're fighting against like bots, the bots won't be able to damage each other, but the bots also won't be able to damage you or any of your units. And the cheat code is called Power Overwhelming. Right, so like Zhongli was literally power overwhelming, but like legal. It's not a cheat code. But once enemies started hitting pretty hard, Zhongli's power overwhelming cheat started to not be as cheat-like as it used to. And for me, that was okay, right? Because like at some point it got boring. It got really, really boring. Just using Zhongli everywhere whenever you you thought that a fight was annoying, right? You just use Zhongli and then turn off all damage. I understand that was a way to balance that out, to finally like make Zhongli not feel like a cheat code in the game. And at least like it was also, and as another like incentive to encourage players to actually learn enemy mechanics. And to actually interact with the enemies the way that the game designers and the combat designers intended for players to interact with those bosses and other enemies. Like I guess I understand why they did that. Because like it's kind of I honestly feel like it kind of hurts. Like if I was the developer, I spent all this time, all these resources trying to like come up with like a cool creative way to trying to come up with like a cool creative like fighting style, right? Or tactic that you'd have to do in order to get around like certain bosses or certain enemies like playstyles, right? And then all for like all of that effort and time, and then players just run a healer and ignore all the enemy mechanics that you spent so much time on designing, right? Or like just throw Zhongli in, and then like boom, all the stuff that you spent all this time designing is now completely useless, right? Nobody even bothers to learn it. Like I guess I understand, right? And I'm not too upset at that. But what I'm just really annoyed at is 5-star burst animations. Because the problem with 5-star burst animations is like your camera is locked in, and you can't see anything. You can't see if the enemy is winding up for a big attack. And now, don't get me wrong, they didn't just straight up increase enemy damage. They did at the very least like balance the enemies out by like a lot of these big hits are like really slow and really like projected. Like it's really obvious when they're coming. It's really really obvious when they're coming, and they're not very hard to dodge because they're coming in really slow, and they're coming in for like a really really wide swing. So it's pretty obvious, and it's quite easy to tell, and it's quite easy to dodge. The problem is because when you're in a 5-star burst animation, even though this like swing takes really long to reach you, 5-star burst animations take even longer. So you could literally start your 5-star burst animation, like when you pressed Q, the enemy wasn't doing anything, but when your burst animation is finished, like a big hit just dropped on you. That's happened to me so much more often since Fontaine. At least like Ajdaha's big hits are like spaced out per stomp. It's not just a single big hit. So like you can sort of like you still have some time to react to like whenever you start getting hit. But a lot of the enemies, especially in starting from Fontaine, started to hit really hard. Like single hit, like big number hard. And just 5-star animation started to get really annoying because you can't see anything while you're still in your burst animation. They buffed the Inefa kit. It's like having a rock with the Inefa kit. From what I heard, Inefa is already pretty good. Her like special thing that she does though, I heard isn't very good. It's not terrible, but it isn't very good. But like, you know what? I'm gonna assume that the special thing that Inefa does is probably just there to allow Inefa to like to enable certain passives that Inefa has, or like maybe to proc her signature weapon, or like maybe so that a 4-star support, a new 4-star support that works really well with Inefa can take advantage of, right? I'm just gonna assume that that's a thing, right? It's probably for just to proc other stuff, like an artifact set, right? Like for example, in Natlan, it's like using what is it called? Phlogiston? It's not fighting spirit. What is it? I don't remember. And so while it's useful to some characters, to most characters it's completely useless. And the only reason why it's actually not completely useless is the fact that it procs like Obsidian Codex, it procs Cinder City, or it procs part of their kit, or like one of their passives. I get the feeling that the special thing that she does is just there to proc stuff, like an artifact set or a passive or something. Stop walking on the roof and do something. I gotta relax now. Its multiplier isn't as big as other reactions because it ignores all defense. Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. Sounds pretty balanced. What is your Yelan like if she has her signature on? I don't have Yelan's signature. Well, I do, but I never use it. I have R2 Aqua on my third account, but I never use it on Yelan because I do not. I tried putting it on Yelan a long time ago. I tried like fiddling around with her build with her artifacts to see if I can get like a decent like balance of stats with her signature on, and like the best I could do was like 170 ER, I think 170, 180 ER, but like I don't remember the exact HP, but I just remember it was below 30k. I think I it might have been even like 24, 25k. I could be wrong. This was so long ago. This was like 2 years ago, I think. All right, so low HP, crit damage was just barely higher. Right, crit damage was just barely higher. It was like maybe like not like 5-10% higher. It was like I would say like 20 or 30% higher. But I reckon that's not enough to make up for how much HP I lost by not running an HP Sands. Right, not to mention I also lost a bunch of ER. So I just didn't bother with it. I didn't even use it in combat. I just took a look at the stats and I was like, no, don't want this. So yeah, it's such a liability. It is. It is really, really. Especially because Yelan doesn't have any. Yelan doesn't have any passives that generate energy for her, right? What's her C4? All party members max HP by 10. Oh my god. For every opponent marked by lifeline. What? I did not know Yelan had a HP buff. How did I not know about this? Yeah, really. Like, Aqua Simulacra is really a big liability. It really is a big liability. That's why I've never bothered using it on Yelan. The only the only time that you should ever use um Aqua on Yelan is like maybe if you're like a whale, right? And you just have so much stats in your artifact sets. You have so much stats that like you can still somehow reach a reasonable amount of HP, even while able to reach like 190 or 200 ER on Yalan. Or if you're a whale, right? Like even if you don't have a reasonable amount of HP, that's fine because like you still have C4, right? That'll buff, that'll increase your HP to a reasonable amount of HP, to a good amount of HP, right? Not to mention like you'd be on fielding Yalan because you're a whale. You probably have C6. You'd be on fielding Yalan, so it's that means that Yalan's gonna be catching a lot of the particles, right? Like you can like because she's on the field, you can just press E whenever it's available, right? So you can definitely funnel a lot more particles into her. Yeah, I think that's really the only time you should ever use Aqua on your Yelan. Aqua is probably only justifiable if you're running Xingqiu with there. Xingqiu with Sack Sword. Yeah. Xingqiu with Sack Sword, but even still, you would still need to at least have like maybe 170 ER on Yelan. Yeah, so you definitely still would be running ER stance, which means your HP is quite a bit lower. ever since this morning, the song Tequila Sunrise has been on repeat in my brain the whole day. It just, oh my god. I had like a short session this morning. Like it just randomly came into mind. Like the song Tequila Sunrise by the Eagles. Uh, randomly came into mind this morning. And since then, like I opened it, I opened it up on YouTube in an incognito tab, and then like YouTube was like gave me a playlist of like other Eagles songs, and like I had a period of like maybe 10-15 minutes where I was listening to it. I was like, man, the whole time I just had this like bittersweet feeling. It was just a bittersweet feeling because like I was like I was listening to it, I was like, oh man, like the classics and the like the Eagles and the Beatles. They always remind me of my dad, and like how my dad used to tell me that like the music that I was listening to when I was a kid was like, this isn't music. Like this sounds terrible. Like why do you like listening to this? And, like me listening to like Linkin Park. And like I still disagree with dad with I still disagree with what my dad said that like Linkin Park isn't like music, right? Linkin Park's great music. Um but all the other stuff though, all the other stuff definitely not as good as like Linkin Park. But now I definitely agree with my dad about the Eagles and Beatles songs. In fact, like funny thing though is like I started to agree with my dad pretty early on. Like even when I was like 15 or 16 years old, I started to really appreciate those songs. Like, no, I know it probably wasn't even like 15 or 16. I think it was like maybe 13. And I was able to appreciate like Eagles and Beatles songs. Although I appreciate them much more now than I did back then. Asking for help on builds feels so. I mean, like it's yeah, you know the thing is like you already know how to build the characters, man. And like you already know what you need. And like sure, I get in this situation, you were sort of like lost, right? Because you feel like you did everything right. You're just straight up lacking stats. Is yeah, like you for example, um you're Raiden Shogun here. Technically she's not lacking stats. You just don't have the artifacts to be able to like balance it out a little bit more. Yeah, try looking. Yeah, try going on your like on your other characters that are using emblem, man. Like look through all your other emblem stuff. Oh hey, what's up, Bozan? This skin is lit. Hey, can you move her a little bit? Oh, sorry. I was Yep, there you go. Oops, excuse me. Like refresh? Oh, hang on. Oh, you changed it. Well, huh. Wait, what did you change? Oh, you know what I should have done? Hang on. Oh, no. Okay. Okay. What I should have done was just open up another tab, and that way, like I would still have the old build, and then I could just control tab and then like switch between the two tabs to like just straight up compare. Number 3. Yeah, I don't know why. Like Ali and Wrong, like somehow cannot accumulate this XP thing in YouTube chat. I don't know why. Have you tried looking it up, Ali? How, like, yeah, have you tried Googling it or something? What XP thing? This, you know how like Bozan's name came up? Like every time he sends a message, there's like this crown thing, and then the pound sign 3 number sign 3. It's very much like a Twitch thing. Like it's a thing. You know how like on Twitch you get points like just by like sitting in chat, right? Sitting in chat, chatting, and like anything really, doing anything. YouTube sort of introduced that I think last week. Yeah, but like Ali and you as well don't seem to get it. Like in fact, like Wayne here too. I don't think I've ever seen Wayne's name with like a number 1, 2, or 3 thing next to it. Feel my conqueror haki. Cannot bother with such trivial things. We all know the truth. That I'm the best viewer. Hey, cheers, mate. Appreciate it. You can't be bothered with like doing like a 5-second or 10-second Google search, but you spent 3 hours trying to get an extra 5 seconds in a video game, which will one day shut down. He changed the ER from 303 to 264. Okay. More crit damage, 112 to 120. Yeah, I remember the crit damage. But like it would have been a lot nicer to just like do control tab, and like literally switch between the two builds. Yeah, that was a mistake on my part. Okay. I mean, like you lost like 40 ER for barely any crit damage. I don't know if that's worth it. I mean, like, you didn't really lose anything ER wise, because like 300 was like way over how much ER you need to like rotate smoothly on Raiden Shogun. 260 is like a minimum comfortable on Raiden Shogun, so like 260 will still very comfortably rotate smoothly every time, right? Unless if you just royally mess up something. So technically you didn't really lose anything, and you sort of, well, I guess you did sort of. You lost something. You lost some of the attack thing, some of the attack percent passive from engulfing, because you lost like 40 ER. But you gained 8 crit damage, and like if it was like if you somehow were able to like get up to like even 135 crit damage after losing that much ER, like, oh my dude, you even gained some crit rate. I just realized, yeah, because I think your previous crit rate was like 70. ER has a hard cap of 270 on Shogun if you use her signature, if I recall correctly. Was it 270? I don't know. I don't remember. I kept hearing people talk about like 300 for a very long time. A long time ago too. But I don't actually know the hard cap. I'm sure it's easy to tell. I could probably just go into the game and like look at it and like figure it out real quick, but I don't want to. The way you said 8 crit damage, I'm sorry, that cracked me up. Really? How did I say it? You can't convert the electro damage after signature gets 30, so 270. Oh, okay. My Pyro MC also had 300 ER. That's funny. That's funny. My Pyro MC also has 300 ER. And the reason why my Pyro MC has 300 ER, by the way, so I didn't build Ether or Lumine or like my Traveler with ER for Pyro, right? For the Pyro Traveler. I built it for Dendro Traveler. because it's just so much more comfortable. Like when you EQ on Dendro MC, like for our Dendro team, of course, for a Dendro team, to EQ on Traveler and never have to swap to him in the middle of your rotation just to do an extra E. But the build is good anyway because there's this, because like you realistically speaking, you're not gonna be able to let your Traveler do good amounts of damage. So great rate and damage kind of don't matter. So as long as you have enough ER, if you're, yeah, if you can somehow get Dendro MC to rotate smoothly with a lot of ER, then I'm sure like all the other variations will also be really happy. Oh, oh, oh my god. You got to 200 ER. HP, hang on. Oh my god. And you still somehow, or hang on. How much? HP. 30k. Okay, well that's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good, man. You're somehow able to stay above 30k HP with an ER Sands and still reach 200 ER. Although this is C0, so you're not going to be able to do like EEQ. So it's, I think 205 is still not going to be quite enough to like comfortably rotate smoothly. You're going to have to do an E in the middle of your rotation. E and catch her particles, catch her own particles. But you're still going to need like 1 or 2 fab weapons on the team. Or HP circle. Oh, I just realized. Yep. Okay, that is an HP circle. That's how you. That's how you got to 30k HP. That's a really good circlet, actually. Unfortunately, low crit rate rolls and crit damage rolls could have been higher, but that's pretty good. Like all the rolls went into it. Like these are like all the stats that are useful to Yelan, except for this one, of course. But at least it's only one. I think that's okay. Yeah, I think that's okay. But again, like you won't be able to just EQ and forget on Yelan. You know what I mean? Like EQ and forget. Like when I say EQ and forget, I'm talking about like EQ and then forget about it and then just rotate all your other characters and then EQ again the next rotation. I don't think you're gonna be able to do that. Like maybe with 2 or 3 fab weapons on the team, but otherwise, I think you're gonna have to do like an extra E in the middle of the rotation because it's not C1. I'd rather have 9180 than 75-200. Oh yeah, me too. I would definitely rather have like 9180 over 75-200. But you know, over the past maybe year or so, I've been slowly changing my stance on that. Like going above 75 crit rate sort of feels like you're hitting the point of diminishing returns, right? Especially if you have the artifacts that can allow you to trade some crit rate above 75% to gain some more crit damage. Because like the thing is, uh, a lot of Genshin's endgame content, right? Endgame content is really like the only place where you really care about like min maxing your stats, right? So get all of Genshin's combat content is resettable. You can just reset. You can just retry for better RNG. And while on a character that does no damage whatsoever outside of a single big hit, right? Like for example, like Eula, right? Outside of her burst popping, she barely does any damage. So like her damage is like a lot of her damage is just stuck behind this one big hit. And if this one big hit just so happens to not crit, then it just sucks. Like now you have to redo it. Right. Whereas like DPSs like Skirk or Nivulet, whose damage is like evenly distributed across many smaller hits. There's a lot less there are a lot less ads odds that all it's highly impossible. No, I don't know about impossible, but it's highly improbable that all your hits, all your multiple smaller hits, are gonna not crit. It's not diminishing returns to opportunity cost. Opportunity cost. Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, yeah. It's opportunity cost. That is true. That is true. Yeah, yeah. It's opportunity cost yeah, because the fact that you can, again, you know, like it, the higher like 90, 180 on a character like Eula or Mavuika, for example, right? Who have like, well, at the very least, like Mavuika's donuts also do a significant amount, portion of her damage per rotation. So it's not as bad on Mavuika as it is on Eula, because like almost all of Eula's damage per rotation is just stuck behind this one single hit. Right, so on a character like Eula, something like 90-180 is gonna make you feel so much more comfy. But I think yeah, like the opportunity cost is high when you're going 90-180 instead of 75-200 on a DPS that has multiple smaller hits. I'm gonna kill that Tulpa every day now. You know how many crits I missed with 9-3 crit rate? You know the pain I went through? What character, man? Eula and Navia? Everything I did was to hit the mini Tulpas with Moika Donuts, so I exploit 3-hit rule. Oh, the only one that feels like high crit rate and Eula is pointless. Like now, yeah. I want high crit rate, but Eula I just 50 crit rate ish, and reset if I don't crit. Yeah, yeah, right. So like that's the thing though. Like on because all of Genshin's endgame content is resettable. You could just reset or retry. Going for a much higher crit rate, I think, doesn't benefit you as much as most people think. Yeah, and that's while I do have some characters that are like above 75 crit rate, but I actually don't have that many of them. Yeah, I don't have that many characters that have above 75 crit rate. And how much is 12%? Okay. All right, Farina is 65. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So on a character like this, like for me, there's nothing I can do about it because I'm on deathmatch, and deathmatch is a low base attack weapon, which means the secondary stat is so high that it's gonna be really, really hard to balance it out. In fact, like, look at this. Like, that's a lot of crit damage already. Lot of crit damage, very little crit rate. Lot of crit damage, little crit rate. Lot of crit damage, very small crit rate. Like, okay, this one, right? Like 1 out of 5 artifacts has a lot of crit rate, and I still somehow like I can't get any more crit damage. I can't sacrifice enough crit rate to get more crit damage. Wait, 256 ER? Oh, because I'm on this. I'm on an ER sans, and oh wow, whoa, it's HP percent though. Wait, you know what? I think that's okay. Yeah, I think that's okay on Freenet. HP percent. Oh my god, okay. How did I forget? Wow, okay, that's not bad. Hand that cup over. With C2, Hydra is better. Oh yeah, cause oh well. Eh. Unfortunate, unfortunate. Yeah, yeah, that's unfortunate. Um, yeah, because I know like the C2 increases HP, so like yeah, L cup, Hydra is better. Give it to me. You're just trying to get it. Okay. Zhongli. Yeah, 67. No, you don't have crit. You don't have crit. You don't. Okay. Jean, probably not built even. Oh, she is built. Yeah. Not even 72. Right. Okay. Yeah. Like, right above 75, but just barely. Ayaka. Oh, you're sort of not really built right now, so no. Okay. Chlorend. Okay. It's really hard to balance Chlorend out because of her 20 crit rate passive. I think my Chlorend, if I'm using Haran on her, I'm actually overcapped on crit rate. Yeah. Anyway, all I'm saying is that I don't have that many characters that go above, that go way above 75% crit rate. Another character I could think of is probably Hu Tao. I think I'm at like 85. Oh yeah, no. Oh no, like I used to be at 89 crit rate on Hu Tao, and then like I gave Hu Tao's goblet over to Arlecchino, and then here she is now. Yeah, right. Like, yeah, I actually don't have that many characters that go above 75% crit rate. It's just oh, you know what? I might as well. I shouldn't have skin, making me act. What? I'm looking at that Hu Tao build. Oh yeah, dude. I'm actually pretty proud of my Hu Tao build. It's Hu Tao is probably my. Is she though? Hang on, let me think. I think Hu Tao might be my best built character. I mean, like the thing though is like Hu Tao doesn't need any energy recharge, so like I guess like if we include characters that have ER, I guess Raiden Shogun might be a contender for that. And in fact, honestly, I think even my Al Haytham is a contender for that. Like, very surprisingly, like I pulled for Alhaitham, and like I spent like 20 minutes looking for artifacts for him. I didn't even I didn't even spend that much time. I just somehow like got some really nice artifacts for him. Right? They're not perfect, but they're not bad either. In fact, like my Nivelet build is like way worse than those. Like, look at this attack percent, attack percent, flat defense. I have so many more wasted rolls on Nivelet than I do on Hu Tao. Right, like HP percent, EM. This could have been way better with higher rolls. Right, the crit damage could have been like 15, and that crit rate could have been like 18 or something. Yeah, and like this goblet used to have this one on Hu Tao. This one's not bad either, right? Because like despite being HP percent flat HP, it's HP. So it's on Hu Tao. So it's not useless on her. And like, oh my god, yeah, that's right. I completely forgot about this thing. Like this circlet. 84 EM with 21 crit damage. My best build is Skirk right now? Oh, really? Okay. EM juicy, right? 84 EM. Like, it's nuts. But they'll definitely Nivelet. They decided to hard counter Nivelet. Oh, yeah. That is true. That is true. Onslaught. And Onslaught. Ali. Dude, I highly recommend pulling for Navia. Or sorry, not Navia, Nahida when she comes out. Like I completely I would absolutely not recommend that you skip Nahida. Like as soon as she gets her a rerun. She's so useful. Like okay, ever since ever since the end of the Sumeru arc, right? Ever since we went to Fontaine, I've barely used Nahida. But boy, does she come in handy when you suddenly need off-field Dendro application. AKA the lava statue in Onslaught. I was chasing for your leaderboards for some time. After a while, just put more ER and life feel better now. Yeah, dude. Like, it's insane how much better a character feels. Like a burst dependent character, excuse me, a burst dependent character feels if you just have enough ER, even if you're lacking a little bit on the damage stat. Thinking about the Inefagal. I'll wait until the last day for stuff. Yeah. Like it's just because like man, Nahida, right? The Nahida still has no equal in the game. Right? She has consistent off-field Dendro application, and it's not even like an AOE. Like you don't apply it in an AOE around you. You press E, and everything within your sight, right? Like everything within your sight, now has not just one application of Dendro on it, but one application up to every 2.5 seconds. Is it 2.5? I don't remember anymore. Right? Like, that is so useful. Nahida is too good for her own. Funny to me how Nahida is too good for her own good. What sometimes? Oh yeah, the the fact that her Dendro application is too strong. I don't remember how many units it is, but yeah, her Dendro application is too strong that it often like snuffs out like Hydro app. Yeah, 1.5. Oh, 1.5 units. Yeah, yeah. That is true. That is true. There's also info about electrocharge DPS, so it's looking to be another Scoffia situation. Oh, really regret not pulling for Scoffia. Could also be bait. You know what? Um, so Siri, do you guys know Siri? In fact, he was actually here earlier today. I'm sure like Wrong here knows who Siri is, but I don't think Ali's seen Siri very much. Oh, you know Siri, Ali? Yeah, yeah. So like the guy pulls for every character in the game, every new one. He I say Siri. No, no. There's a guy called Siri Ann. Like I don't know. Like his name doesn't. It's a weird spelling. It uses like a special character. But his name is Siri Ann, and he pulls for every new character that comes out. In fact, he has every character in the game. He never pulls for weapons, but he only gets like C0. He gets C0 of every character. I don't know if he spends money on the game. I don't actually know. But like isn't that such a nice thing, right? Like being able to have every character in the game, every new character. Like it's so nice cuz when like despite said character being C0 R0, they're not going to be great. The fact that you still have them means that whatever artificial way that Hoyo puts into the game, puts into it, like however Hoyo caters or remodels like end game content to make you feel like you want to have the new character because you have all of them. You will always like you will almost never experience how annoying fights are without that said character because you have them. You stop flexing the circlet already. Oh yeah, sorry. I've come to realize that signature weapons in Genshin are more often than not liabilities, with exceptions, of course. They've gotten better. They've gotten much better recently. Like Jianyun, right? Jianyun's was the first, I think, of these signature weapons that actually were not liabilities because it actually literally straight up just gives you energy when when you proc its passive. Um, hang on. For some reason, in my mind, I'm thinking there's like one more weapon that's very similar to Jianyun signature weapon that gives just Nivelette's thing. I think Nivelette's signature weapon. Where is he? Oh, there. Yeah, 8 energy. Yeah, straight up just energy. The first was Elegy. Oh yeah, Elegy was really nice, man. And Elegy didn't even come out when the character it was made for came out. As far as Newlet business slot team is just a Skirk team with Newlet. I heard about that. Yeah, I heard about that. Newlet's Newlet's best team now is a Skirk team. What does Newlet even do in that team? Hold TTDS. If you give Newlet TTDS, then the team instantly becomes better because you can just not swap to Newlet, not give him field time, and just like run a DPS Skirk, and the team would just be better. One of Skirk's best supports is Milani. That is true. That is true. Milani is one of our best supports. Okay. Anyway, sorry guys. I've been really sleepy for like 20 minutes now. I'm gonna put Shenhe back over there next to the crafting bench, and I think I'm gonna hit the hay. I have to remember though to take this stream off of the a playlist that it shouldn't belong to. That would be the world exploration playlist that I have. Because honestly, I was actually planning on, like, if I just finished daily, or sorry, no, weekly, my weeklies and daily stuff, a lot, like super quickly, I could have maybe, yeah, I actually I think I could have had time to do my exploration today, but hey, it's me, so no, I'll have to do exploration another time. Hey, what's up, Tut? How you doing, man? Make sure to sit. Bears on his legs a little. Oh, you're right, you're right. But there are no benches anywhere near here. It's too far. Oh man, that looks nice. That looks real good. Okay. Alright, anyway. I got work early because it's summer vacation in, not in the Philippines, but summer vacation in other places. So anyway, how long we've been going? I think 2 hours is fine. 2 hours is an okay length, stream length. I haven't streamed this short. I haven't had a stream this short in a while. Honestly, I wish I could stream more often, like at this length. Between 2 and 3 hours, I feel like is like a really nice, comfortable stream length. I see no crown thingy. Yeah, so like you guys probably are on mobile and have not updated y'all's YouTube apps, which is fine. Honestly, like I don't see a need to update your YouTube app because like Google allows it to work even without being updated anyway. So like, what's the point, right? All right. Anyway, so for those of you who need help building your characters, accounts, or making a decision which merits to pull for, feel free to join our Discord server. Links are in the description of all my videos, VODs, and streams, and in the pinned message in YouTube chat. If you want my personal opinion, you can ping me over there. My name is Iansan. Of course, you can ask for other people's opinions too. Thank you guys so much for coming by, hanging out, and being awesome people. Have a good day, good afternoon, good evening, and take care, everybody. Bye, guys. More updates. The app's only getting worse. That is absolutely true, Ali. Yeah, that is absolutely true. Like updates, not just to like YouTube, like, but like to a lot of other apps. It I don't know, like it almost always it just feels more often than not that updates make it worse. Just feels like it. Just feels like it. Oh, like same with like graphics card drivers. All right, again, for real this time. Bye everyone. Bye. Thank you.